live. We are on episode 2 of the Controller Dream podcast. Welcome, everybody. I am, of course, Jay Strats of Stratosphere Gaming. We have a pretty exciting show for everybody today, if I do say so myself. We have a pretty big announcement to make, which is spoiled in the title if you're looking at that. We have some fan mail for Phenom to open.
All right.
And we're gonna do some good old-fashioned gaming talk.
Oh, yeah.
Which is one of our favorite things.
We love that.
But we do. But let me introduce my co-host here. On the right side of your stream, standing at 6'8", the legend, my personal inspiration, and my good friend, the phenomenal Phenom R3.
He's buttering me all up. I like it.
Oh,
Thank you.
we are.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
You're welcome.
It's good to be here.
It is.
We're
good.
back again.
It is good.
We're back again.
It is. We are back again.
Feels good.
So how you doing tonight? How you doing? How you feeling?
I am doing good. Doing good. I don't know. I'm glad that we're back. I'm glad that we're getting back into the groove of the old podcast. We've been doing some stream. I think you took up some streaming recently, so that's good. Yeah, I feel like we're doing good though. We're getting into the rhythm of things, so that's good. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're doing good. I was having some weird technical issues at the beginning. I don't know what happened, but it seems like now we're doing okay. So,
Yeah.
let's start off with our big announcement. Do you want to tell everyone what our big announcement is?
Yeah, so now, and it was shocking to me when Strat figured it out and got it all queued up, but we are on Spotify now. So just go and look up Controller Dream Podcast on Spotify.
And you want to hear something even better than that?
What?
You can do that same thing on iTunes, and we're there too.
Nice.
Oh,
The
we're official.
2-punch combo. I like it.
2-punch, the old 1-2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's great.
Classic. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so oh, go ahead.
Let's do this fan mail. I want to start.
Want to rip it
Let's do
open?
this
Is
fan
that
mail.
what we're doing?
Yeah, Phenom has a package to open.
Okay.
Let's start with that.
All right, little backstory. I've had this package sit down here for a couple days now. Have not opened it, obviously, because I'm opening it right now.
Which is I would have opened it.
Right.
That's impressive. I'm not good at surprises. I'm not good at secrets. I would have opened
right.
it.
And I did not bring a knife down here, but I'm pretty sure I can handle it. Pretty sure.
I think you can. I think you got it.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
So it's nicely packaged. Oh my god.
Still packaged. Ooh.
What?
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect, Violence, Speed. Oh, it's inverted on there.
Ooh.
Momentum. Oh my god.
Open it up.
It's signed.
It is signed. By the doctor himself.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Are you kidding me?
That's autographed.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm dead
god.
serious.
No way.
I'm dead serious. That is, he signed it live on stream. He did a signing.
No, you're
He
messing
did a
with me
signing
right now.
stream. I don't think he said like either of our names or anything, but he did this like an 8-hour stream where he signed a bunch of books, and that's where that came from. I'm dead serious.
Are you fucking with me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you serious?
No.
You're not joking with me, dude? I'm gonna cry here, dude. Just
No,
to start it
listen.
off. No way.
To anybody watching this, Phenom is a huge
Oh,
Dr. Disrespect fan.
Literally.
Has told me multiple times that is his like streaming idol,
No way.
and I'm dead serious. I was on YouTube one day, and one of his live streams, the title was like "Buy my book" or whatever. I'm like, "Book." So I looked, and you could get the book, and I went, "I'm gonna get Phenom that." Like, it's like just to be nice, because you know you're a good friend.
Awesome,
And
dude.
then I'm looking at the book. I clicked the link, and it was like the price change from just the book to getting an autograph was like nothing. So I'm like going all in,
Oh my
going all in.
God. Strat, you did not have to do this, dude. You did not
I know.
have to do this.
Listen.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
You're a good friend. You've always been super supportive of me, and my wife will tell you, I am a gift person. Like, I am like buy people things to show affection. I am that kind of person. Like, Christmas comes around, this is what happens. Christmas will come around, and she'll get me she'll get me like the perfect present, like something homemade or something that 100% like signifies us or our, and it's
Right.
amazing. And she'll spend like $2, but it's a perfect gift. I am the go out and spend $500 on an expensive electronic to show my love. That is the kind of person I am. So
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, thank you so much. This is much appreciated, seriously.
you're welcome.
I literally don't know what to say. I'm shocked. I am shocked.
Were you worried that it was going to be a prank?
Well, just because, you know, we're pranksters once in a while, you know what I mean? You're definitely a prankster. I did not expect, if anybody's listening to this is crazy, like shocking. This means a lot to me because Doc is definitely my favorite streamer. He literally has inspired me to do what we're doing right now, so this is perfect, and I really appreciate it. I really do appreciate that. Wow.
I just did it for the views because now I can put Dr. Disrespect in the
Right. Hey, there's always one way to skin a cat. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Can I tell you a funny story about this?
Yeah, go ahead. God, I can't believe that. I want to I'm not to interrupt you. I want to tell my wife dude, this is big.
Oh,
this is big.
She doesn't know what it is, but she knows you were getting something because which is part of the story. Remember, I asked you for your address a couple weeks ago.
You did, yeah.
I messaged your wife on Facebook and I asked her for your address, and she left me on red for like 2 days.
She said that.
So I was like, oh man, she thinks I'm like creepy, like she thinks I'm doing something weird. And her response, and I'm gonna call her out. I'm gonna read this live. So she goes, I suck really bad and forgot to reply. I'm sorry. I also suck because when I got the message, I said, why is J-Strats messaging me before reading? I shouldn't tell people.
Yeah.
Because I literally messaged her and said, hey, can I ask for your address and you not tell him that I asked? And I said, that's funny. I'll try and throw false hints to get him off the scent, which is why I try to drop hints that it was the photo from that stream blown up on a poster. I've said a couple things. I'm like, maybe it's a blown up photo. I've said it. That was thrown up. And she responded, he has the memory of a carrot, so he'll probably forget.
Okay. I mean, I guess so, yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. That was funny that she said that. Okay, first of all, when it comes to surprises, I try not to investigate. I try not to. I just, you know what I'm saying? I'm a busy guy. I just go on with my day. But, dude, I literally, I'm teared up a little bit, dude. This is something special, dude. I really appreciate it. Not to keep on talking about it on the podcast, but this is great. Dr. Disrespect, a signed book. You did ask me if I was into books. I'm not much of a reader, but this is something that I will read. This is 100% something I would read.
You know what's funny is when I asked you if you were into books, I hadn't found that yet. That was purely coincidental.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I asked you that, and it was like days later that I saw that, and I was like, man, he just said he wasn't really into books. But I'm like, you know what? If nothing else, it'd be decoration.
Well, yeah, for sure. I got a little... Okay, first of all, I showed people the front, and if you're listening to this on the radio, then you're not going to see it. But it's basically Doc's face on the front and the back. He's like violent speed momentum, baby. He's dipped in Vaseline head to tippy. He's ready to roll, dude.
Head to tippy.
Oh, thank you.
See, you're welcome. Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that the book is written in his character, mm-hmm. and that it's funny and that it's not actually a life story. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's gonna be a story about him fighting bears and shit, and I feel like that's what I want it to be.
Fun fact about Doc is that he was apparently this was a couple years ago, but he was given an option basically to start streaming or to. I don't know if he moved to California or has always lived in California or what have you, but he basically was like, it's either stream or it's taking this because he used to be a video game designer or
yeah, he designed games for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Right,
he did the maps and stuff on there, but he was basically mm-hmm. Something in that field or it was streaming, and he took the risk of, I want to say risk, but he felt like it was a risk because I don't know how long ago this was, but it was probably 4 or 5 years ago at least. And he took the streaming route. So if this is If it doesn't matter if it's about him or about, it doesn't matter. This is great. This is anything Doc. I am 100%, and so
I I hope it's like really like I hope it's a combination joke and tell all.
Right.
Is what I want it to be.
great.
Um, but yeah, I feel like you know what, you've always been a really good supportive friend, and I saw that and I was like, he would love that, and I
Well,
want to get
thank
it for
you.
you.
I don't know what to say. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Your response was everything I hoped it'd be. So.
Yeah.
Because he asked me before the stream, he was like, "So should I be scared? Like, is this a prank?" And I'm like, I told him I was like, it's either a really funny prank or it's just me being nice and getting you.
Well,
a gift.
yeah.
And I was like, and I feel like until you opened it, you thought it was a prank.
Yeah. When I opened it, I'm like what?
You're like, he's actually being nice to me.
No, I wasn't like that, but I was like, I seen it. I'm like, a book? Like, this says Doc on here? And then I'm like, no way, dude. Then I open it. Then I opened it and it's signed. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know. I knew that too. I was like, I have to make sure to tell him because I was like, he's not going to open it or he's not going to catch it. Like, like yeah.
That was awesome.
So, yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you.
I was gonna watch the stream and see if maybe like he said people's names to try and get a clip of him saying your name or my name, but it was like 8 hours.
Right.
And I was
right.
like, I'm not sitting through 8 hours.
Right.
But, yeah. So
Awesome.
So we have our Spotify announcement. We have your fan mail. We're gonna talk about games.
Yep.
But I texted you earlier and told you I was heated about something, and I want to talk.
Yes,
about
I had a reminder on my phone, and it would go off in 5 minutes. But go ahead.
We can wait.
No, it's fine.
No, I'm gonna go down. And this is I'm taking a statement. I'm putting out a statement, and I'm taking a stance on something. And I want anyone that watches my channel going forward to know that this is my opinion on this topic. You know the cars that have the stick figure families? I don't care about that. The people that have the stickers of like the T-Rexes and stuff eating those and said the T-Rex doesn't care about your stick figure families, fuck you.
Wait. What?
Because here's the thing. Because if you want to put your stick figure family on a car, that's fine. I think it's dumb. I don't agree with it. Whatever. I don't necessarily disagree with it. I think it's dumb. I wouldn't do it. Whatever. Move on. But if you're actually you're spending the money to tell someone else that what they're doing is stupid. And it's the same thing with anything. If you get a shirt that says like people that watch YouTube videos are stupid, like that's also stupid. Like saying your opinion out loud is one thing, but spending money and like stickering your car just to insult someone else's behavior, I hate that.
That's a little.
That is dumb. But I do the same thing though. Like when I see a stick figure family, I'm like cringy.
Right.
But I'm like, I'm not gonna sticker to call you out.
Right.
I see those and I was like, immediately, as soon as I saw that, I'm like,
yeah. And here's like more of a controversial thing, and it's fine, and a lot of people doing it. Your choice, right? But like baby on board stickers, I don't hate that. I just feel like I wouldn't do it just because it's a little risky, in my opinion.
Here's the thing. I think it's definitely risky because like people know that you have a kid.
Right.
But I think the whole point of that is so that if something happens and like you get into a car accident, they know there's a baby, so that if they see like an empty car seat or something, like I think because I almost think, see, I don't know, but you couldn't take it down though, or like if I think it's so like if a car seat came out a window or something, they know they're looking for a kid, or they know to ask you about a kid, like they know, like the child is involved.
Well, okay, that makes sense. There's two sides to it, I guess. I'll say that. I just wouldn't. I don't know if I would do it, but since we were talking about the sticker thing on the cars, like yours is better than mine. But I'm just saying, like,
I see T-Rex ones. Today I saw a Star Wars one, and it said like the AT-AT doesn't care about your stick figure family, which is better than a T-Rex. But I was still like, really? You're gonna Star Wars me like that? Nah.
Right.
No. Well, that's what I had to say. I had to get that off my chest.
No, I get it. I get that. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
So top 5? You want to do top 5?
Yeah. Let's get into our topic.
I'll let you go first.
Well, I got to bring up my notes app because I don't even remember what my top 5 were. We thought it'd be a fun idea today. Segue, talk while I find my note. Just to talk about our top 5 video games. Not necessarily top 5 best games of all time, but top 5 games that like put us into gaming, or top 5 games that like made gaming our big thing. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like that's kind of what we'll go with.
And I think
I think what we should do is
oh, go ahead.
you go. Go ahead.
I was thinking that we'll elaborate too on why and all that. Like basically say our top 5 and just literally describe what like basically what you were saying, but elaborate on it for sure.
Yeah, and I have a couple of fun stories to go with some of mine. So
Yeah.
I think we should go back and forth.
Okay.
So I'll start if you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
I started with, I mean, this is more of a franchise, but just Mario, just in general. Like I think Mario really, I feel like a lot of people start there, but Mario was the first game. Like I had a Super Nintendo, and Mario, I had a lot of games for it, but Mario was the first game that I would like come home from school and like grind it out. Like I have to finish this, and I remember like finding secret passageways for the warp whistles and being like, this is the coolest thing. Like I had like an X-Men game for the Super Nintendo, and I'd play it sometimes, but I didn't really care about it. But Mario, I was like focused. I was like
locked
I had
in.
to get it done.
Well, and you know what?
locked in.
Some of that stuff, like some of the old games like that, like it takes some skill. Almost if you wanted to do like a time race or something to beat it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like some people do like
Yeah.
time, especially with Mario or I guess I don't know, like Sonic or like just those old N64 or whatever games. Like some of those games are hard, especially if you're putting a time on those. They're tough.
Yeah,
You know.
I agree. I know. I remember like as a kid, like when the music played when your timer was getting low, like the do 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 do, like when you had like a minute left, and I was like, I gotta go. I gotta run.
Right. And you want to talk about like determination to beat certain levels or bosses back in the day. And I was born in '96, so but a lot of that stuff I had hand me downs and what have you. But dude, determination. You're sitting there sweating a little kid like that. Like you're sitting there you want to beat that boss.
Yeah.
Like there's no like I'll pause it or do it later. Like it's almost. I mean for me anyway, it was like. I got to do this. Like I don't care if I lose multiple times. You know I'm gonna do it. So
Yeah. And like talk about like a legacy, like you know what I mean, like how many characters are as recognizable as Mario, you know, like video game characters.
yeah.
Like it's a thing. I remember my parents didn't play a ton of video games with me, which is fine, but I do remember my dad would play Mario with me, so that was cool.
Yeah.
So that was cool, but I think that was a big one.
Kind of a side note here. I feel like back then, if you're talking Mario and stuff, and even honestly like Xbox days and stuff, the controls were a lot more simple. So it's almost like you know your parents would. I mean, my dad would play with us too or whatever, but it's almost like it's kind of plug and play. You know what I mean? They pick it up. You know.
Yeah.
So now it's
Because
like,
I mean, it's two buttons. You forward and jump. I mean, there's a few more, but like if you can do those two, you can pretty much play Mario.
Yep. Yep.
Which
Yeah. So on my list, this is definitely a franchise, and I'll list I'll just do a list of 2 favorite games out of the franchise, but Call of Duty is definitely top 5. If I had to pick one, and it's hard because there's like I don't even know, like 11 games now or something. Probably more than that. If I had to pick, I would say Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 2. If I had to pick, if I was on an island and I had to pick, those are the only 2 Call of Duty games. Definitely those. But what COD is to me is like when I think back on my life, like I played COD so much that when I think back on my life, I think about what COD came out that year because I played it so much. Like and it would almost be like, oh, who did I hang out with when I was 16 or whatever, and I would be like, oh, I was playing MW3. Like it would literally, that's how much I played it. It was everybody in high school. It was like one of those games which it happens. I feel like it's been happening since the 80s probably. Like everybody would play, but especially in the online aspect, like parties would be full. Like 10 people every day, like after school. You know what I mean? Like. It was crazy. So definitely Call of Duty, and it's Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2. 2 strong. I feel like 2 strong CODs that have made an impact on people. But I mean I'm not saying that the rest of them are bad. If I had to pick memory and nostalgic wise, it would be those 2. So
I like Black Ops 2. That was Modern Warfare 2 is definitely the first one that I really got into because I got into that like when I went to college, when I went to Ferris. my roommates played, and I played that. I think the first one that I really, really put like days into though was Black Ops 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I respect Black Ops 3 because it wasn't really like it was jetpacks, I guess, but they made that so they're not too high. Jetpacks is another conversation, but they made it to where it was a more of a butterfly float, and it was a good
Yeah,
implement to the because I don't know if Advanced Warfare came out before that. I'm gonna
it did.
okay. Well, they toned it back a bit. I feel like with Black Ops 3, and I think it helped. I think it helped, and the zombies were pretty good in Black Ops 3. So yeah.
Yeah, I see. I feel like I had something to say. Oh yeah, because I feel like in Advanced Warfare, like you like jumped and then you pushed in the stick, so you like it was like a jump and then a defined like thrust, and
Hmm.
it was like, "Choo, choo."
Yeah.
But yeah, like Black Ops 3 was like that very smooth, like basically jumped and just kept going, and I felt like that was really well done. I think if they made a game, if they remake Black Ops 3, have game modes where you don't have to use the boost, like have the exact same maps, the exact same guns,
Hmm.
but you can go into a game mode no boost. I think that would have. I think that would have really solidified Black Ops 3 as like one of the best Call of Duty games.
Yeah, they would definitely put it up there if they gave you the option for sure. More,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing with like COD is that it is such a massive franchise, and there's a lot of baggage that comes with that, obviously because it's popular. But um, I think as a franchise and as an impact on gaming in general, and the smoothness of running and like as a shooter, like COD has. You can say Battlefield's good. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's bad. I just the impact and like just I don't know. They have executed it pretty well, and for how long it's lasted. I mean, you think about franchises. I mean, yeah, you got your Final Fantasies and stuff. I mean, Halo's kind of dying out. Hopefully, it gets better, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely made a staple. So,
I heard hey the next Halo might come to PS5. I heard there's talks about it.
really,
Mm-hmm. I don't think I would get it, but
if it was,
what do you think the what do you think the two part? What's your least favorite COD, and is there any COD that you think gets too much hate?
mm, okay, I'm gonna say this. Okay, this is gonna literally, it's gonna be kind of. I'm gonna say Infinite. I know you like Infinite Warfare. My problem with Infinite Warfare, and that goes for, I feel like it gets the most hate because when that trailer came out, it had like a crap ton of dislikes, and I didn't dislike it that much. But it is my least favorite. But I love COD, so that's my standard. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm not gonna play it, but it just didn't feel like COD to me, and I feel like that's why it gets the hate. But one thing that helped is when they came out with Infinite Warfare, they also remastered COD 4, so I feel like that helped. And I don't know if it was a bundle package or what. I think it was. I think if you bought
I
both.
think it came with it free.
Yeah. So I think them doing that helped, in my opinion, helped Infinite Warfare. But I know you like Infinite Warfare. But I feel like, to answer your question, I feel like it's Infinite Warfare for both of those questions. I feel like it definitely gets a lot of hate. And also, kind of a sneaky one here, I feel like Ghost gets a lot of hate, and I don't really understand why. But I feel like a lot of people did not like Ghost.
I feel like the gameplay in Ghost was good. I didn't like the maps.
I feel like the
I
maps
feel
were
like
different.
they were
Yeah.
all really dark.
They were.
I don't
They
know.
no, you're right about that. They were definitely like a dark shaded, like
Mm-hmm.
it definitely was.
Here's what I think happens with Infinite Warfare, and I'm not going to contest your point in any way. But I think Black Ops 3 is better than Infinite Warfare, but I think Infinite Warfare is better than Advanced Warfare. I think the problem is you got jetpack CODs 3 years in a row. I think if you would bump out Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare would have came out before Black Ops 3, it would have got a way better reception because I think all the hate was just it wasn't Infinite Warfare sucks. It was like I don't want another jetpack COD.
Mm-hmm. Kind of got burnt out.
Like if I think if they would have like done Advanced Warfare Black Ops 3, which I get Black Ops 3 was I get it. And then if they would have skipped that and done like another Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2, and then I think if they came out with Infinite Warfare exactly how it was, but with modern graphics today, I think it'd be better received.
I agree with that. I agree with that statement.
Because people are not happy that they're going back to World War II for the next one.
See, that's the thing. I feel that's kind of what I'm gonna touch on what you just said, because the order that they're doing it isn't right. So I feel like, because I'm down for an older COD. That's just my opinion, but I just feel like the order that they did it, the way they executed it, like it's just wonky to me. I don't know, and I don't know if it's because the fans are getting older, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, so I can't really say, but I'm okay with an older style, but
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like sometimes like the straight shot with the jetpacks, that I feel like people did get burnt out. It's like you don't know what COD's come out next, and I just feel like there should be some like more fluent. I don't even know what you want to call it, because like I feel like with like Final Fantasy, I don't play Final Fantasy, but I feel like the people that are hooked, and you can probably correct me on that. Are people mad about Final Fantasy? Like, not to get off topic, but
Um,
I just want to.
I don't think I don't think it gets the hate that COD gets.
Mm,
I think there's definitely criticism, and I think definitely how do I want to word it? I feel I feel like there's definitely criticism. People definitely do hate in the Final Fantasy community. I don't think it's as bad as Call of Duty though, and I think that the Call of Duty community gets a little toxic and
mm-hmm.
people hate on stuff that's unnecessary.
Right.
Whereas I think the Final Fantasy community, their complaints are not always valid. Definitely stupid complaints, but I feel like for the most part, their complaints are realistic.
Okay. That makes sense.
Like it's supposed to be like Final Fantasy. Like the first couple games were like old, like medieval style, and like the last couple games have been like flying machines and like cars and like more like futuristic. And like the next one that we only have a trailer for is like full on medieval like castles and like no electronics and stuff. And people are psyched about that. People are happy that it's going back to like a fantasy.
Mm, mm-hmm.
And like so like I feel like Call of Duty sometimes people are like, oh, I don't like this, and I'm just like, God, you're annoying. But I feel like with Final Fantasy, people are like, well, I don't like this, and I'll be like, I disagree, but I see your
Do
point.
you think that the devs Final Fantasy devs listen to their fan base more than the Call of Duty? I mean, that's kind of hard to answer, but I don't know. I mean, I guess that's not a dumb question, but I feel like that's hard to say.
I feel like because well, Final Fantasy is made by Square Enix, and I think Square Enix as a whole is more in touch with their community than Activision or Sledgehammer is,
Okay.
or Treyarch is.
Yeah.
Because like not it doesn't happen for every game, but like I've told you multiple times about those games like Bravely Default and Octopath where they'll like do a demo and then do a survey. Square Enix does that a lot. So like not every game, but like so they are interested and they come up with good compromises. Like they'll be like, okay, the survey said this, so we did this, and it might not be exactly what fans asked for, but it's like a good compromise. So
Yeah, and also, I mean, let's not deny the fact that COD does switch developers. Um, they
mhm.
have Activision. I think Activision's still doing it, but they had Infinity Ward in the beginning. Treyarch, Raven came in and stepped in.
Ravens, yeah, and Ravens still kind of involved,
Hmm.
like with Cold War.
Right. So I don't know if that's part of the issue with, and also, I mean, I do feel like COD fans are kind of toxic about stuff, because I mean, any most big franchises you're gonna have toxic fans. I mean, but I just maybe that's part of the issue too, is that there's multiple developers.
When was the last? What was the last one Infinity Ward did?
That was like Ghost or something. No, that was Sledgehammer.
I feel like they did.
They
I
probably
feel
did
like they did like
MW3, I think.
Infinite Warfare.
Oh, maybe they did. Yeah, look that up really
I'm
quick.
gonna Google it. Was it's called that Infinity Ward did? I got so many spelling errors in that.
Oh,
They made Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Ghost, Infinite Warfare, and the Modern Warfare reboot. They did the Modern Warfare reboot?
yeah, that's the COD. Is that the COD 4 remaster or no?
No, the Modern Warfare that came out in
Oh,
2019.
so it must be like a back pocket develop.
Oh, they developed it. Activision published it.
Okay, so
Weird.
there's just a lot of hands in the candy jar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like there's a lot of hands in the candy jar, and I feel like that might be part of the problem. I'm not saying that is the problem. You know?
My biggest complaint about COD typically is that there's so much cool stuff you can do in the campaign that's just never in multiplayer.
That's true. That is true.
Like, how cool would it be if, like, I feel like there should be, like, every map, and this is a big idea, has one, like, map-specific kill streak. Like, maybe there's a map that's inside, and if you get enough kills, you can turn all the lights off. And then players either have to have a class that can switch to that, like, or maybe they have guns with flashlights on them. Like, you have to be ready. Like, if you're going into Nuketown, you have to be ready to deal with potentially this.
Right.
Or maybe you go into Nuketown and no one's running that kill streak. But, like, I don't know. Like, instead of selecting UAV, you can select, like, map kill streak. And so every map has the same, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of stuff.
Or maybe it's different.
Yeah.
Maybe it's different. Maybe you select map kill streak, and every map it's different amount of kills, and you just have to be prepared to randomly deal with that. Like in Advanced Warfare, that one map where somehow you could activate like the sky laser or whatever.
And it would,
I want that.
Yep. More interactive maps, like, and what happened to Night Vision? They put it in the recent Modern Warfare, but I just feel like it could be brought up a little more. I mean, it's not do or die for me or anything. They had it in 07. They had Night Vision in 07, and it's like, why are we taking it out? What's wrong with it? I liked it,
Yeah.
especially when you're on that map. It's not sub base. It's not Crash. I don't know. There was that map on COD 4. That was dark.
I don't know what it's called. I'm terrible with map
But
names.
Another thing too. Here comes the toxic fan base. But in my opinion, I feel like as Fortnite rose up, refresh maps, multiple people playing, it's free. I don't have a problem with Warzone. I just feel like the content isn't always there, in my opinion.
Yeah, doesn't the Fortnite map change like every season?
Yeah, and
or is it every chapter, and every chapter is like 2 or 3
I think it's
seasons?
every chapter it changes, but I think there's live events that go on that changes mid game.
Yeah, they had a concert like mid game at
And
one point.
I'm not like a big Fortnite fan. I have nothing against Fortnite, but their execution and how much like literally how much people played that game, like it was perfect. Like you can't knock them for that.
Still play that game.
Well, that's the thing. And you can't really win either because people are like, "Oh, it changes so much." So you literally can't win. But like with COD, like we waited how long and we got a boat on the map, and I don't even know if it's in the map yet. I think you can see it from the map on Warzone.
I think it's in the map.
Okay.
I will say I 100% agree with you, but Warzone's been out for a year. The Haunting of Verdansk event with the zombies was awesome.
That was fun. I'll give him that. But
that's all.
But let's go back a couple years, and we'll get to our top 5 in a second. But let's go back a couple years. Blackout was fun. I love the looting. They literally changed the map from fall to spring. And then they ended up blowing up a dam. Everything flooded, and then it turned into the dam being fixed in Blackout, and then it turned into zombie, like Red Water was zombie, like a zombie theme. I like the effort, but I played that game for like 2 years, and I'm like, can we get some dynamic weather going in here? Like, can we get the night, like the map changing at night? Like, the amount of money they get, it just irks me a little bit, just a little bit.
I think it'd be cool if as the circle got smaller, it got darker.
Right, or something.
So like it got harder to see as you go.
Right.
I don't know. But I agree. Like I think they could listen to their fans because I feel like their fans are yelling loud enough.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But some of the fans are ridiculous. Like I'm not gonna name names, K-Dog, but like some people are just never gonna be happy.
Right.
Like this kid that we play with, every gun is OP. He'll be like, "Oh, you're using that? That's so OP. You're using that? It's so OP." Yeah. The word OP means overpowered. So if you got 20 guns, they can't all be OP because at that point, that's just the baseline of the game.
Exactly.
That's just the baseline. If there might be, because we can all agree that the AUG is OP for sure, 100%, even after the nerfs.
Right.
But like, you can't tell me that the freaking I don't even know what's the crappy gun that I don't like using. You can't tell me the Krieg is OP. That gun is terrible to use.
Well, and there's always going to be like I call it the flavor of the month, and I heard that from a friend of mine. I'm like, I like that. I'm going to use that. But like, there's always going to be that flavor of the month, and that's fine. But there can't be 20 flavor of the months. Like this isn't a damn ice cream shop, okay?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
And
come
just
on.
because one person is good with a gun doesn't mean it's OP. Like, I like the AUG,
Right.
and I don't like the Krieg. But there's probably people that play the Krieg every day and are like, this is the best gun COD's ever came out with. And it's like, just means it fits their play style.
I just
you know?
want to note here, since Cap is in the chat, I just want to note here that he came up with flavor of the month. So I did want to just throw that in there.
Did he tell you to say that?
No, he did not tell me to say that. I just said it and I heard it from
Oh, okay.
him. So the credit goes.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're giving the Cap his credit.
Yeah, credit goes to Cap 100%.
There you go.
Also, I think he said I said plug and play earlier. He came up with that. Cap just Captain Insano. You just never know what you're gonna get from him. I swear, like you never know.
He's fun. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he is. Hey, good with Pyramid Head on DBD, dude. Good with Pyramid Head. I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm.
You can go ahead with your list if you want.
Oh, sure. Oh, I have this game with me. Hold on. Boom. This is a PS1 game. I still have it. 4 discs. It's massive. Legend of Dragoon.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't that look cool?
That does.
I guarantee you that's why my dad got it for me, because it's rated teen, and I definitely got it before I was a teen. I guarantee you he saw this cover and went, my kid likes dragons, and got me this.
Just got it for you.
This game is 4 discs long. Came out on PS1, but I played it on PS2. This game is like what introduced me basically to like turn-based RPGs. And it was so fun. Like, you started off as this guy who's out for revenge, and like you get these powers where like partially during combat you can like get like use dragon magic, and like you'd get like armor and dragon wings, and then you like do attacks and shit. Super cool, super fun. 4 discs long. This game was so long.
So once you beat the first disc, you would pop in the second one and just keep on going?
It literally, yeah, a screen would pop up and be like, please insert disc 2, and you'd literally open PlayStation, disc 1 out, disc 2 in. And you want to know what's sad is this is the only PS2 1 game I have. I'm missing disc 2.
Mm.
And it's like $170 to get a new like set from eBay. Honestly, I consider it almost like every time I'm on eBay.
I got a website.
I'll never get. My kids will inherit this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I keep it. I'm not going to show you guys my desk, but my desk has 2 games sitting on it. This and a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 steel case. I'll show that too. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Like a steel case. I love steel cases on games.
Yeah.
It's just good. It's like reflective and shiny.
Yeah, steel cases are dude. Steel cases underrated.
Really. I got one coming in June that I pre-ordered like months ago.
Just to go back on what you were saying, Cap said that he was thinking about that game today, so that's another thing that you guys have in common.
Nice. There's a petition to have it remade that's like 100,000 big.
Oh, really?
Like, people have been wanting, because it sold fairly well. The problem is it came out like pretty similar time frame as Final Fantasy VII, and that overshadowed it. But
he said it's amazing, and then he also said that's the game I got the name Kongo from. I always named my ape on Ark after that. LOL.
Nice. Yeah.
Which I don't know what that means, but if you can elaborate on that.
Kongo was one of the party members. You could get like 8 party members, and they all had different elements. There might have only been 6 or 7, but he was like a giant, so he like towered over your other characters, and like that was so fun. I remember that was the first game I ever grinded on, because there was this armor called, like, I don't remember what it's called now. It was like the golden armor, and there's a golden helmet, and it like dramatically increased your speed. And there was this one character, she's a female character named Maru, who is just naturally fast. So if you put the golden like armor and headset on her, you could move like 3 times before like a boss would even move once. And then I remember they were like 50,000 gold coins each, so I literally like grinded those. I spent so long just fighting monsters to get the money for those.
Damn.
Game is so fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, there's been a petition for years to get it remade, and there's always been rumors, and it just never happened.
You know what I like about your list so far is that you have the older games so far, and then I have.
Oh, they're all older games.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good thing, because I kind of have newer games, so it's like perfect. But I'm gonna say my next one if you don't mind. My next one in my top 5 is Minecraft. Now that might sound a little funny at first, okay? Because Minecraft, when Minecraft came out, in my opinion, I didn't like it at first, because I kind of thought, oh, it's kind of whatever. Like, this was like when I seen it was like 2009 or something, and it came out. It came out before that, but I'm gonna say Minecraft because, one, it was like $20, at the time. 2, I've never played a game. Every time I play COD or a shooter or like literally any other game, I'm like I know like when I'm gaming, I know I'm like gaming. With Minecraft, that was the first game that I think I've ever experienced where it was the weirdest feeling ever. Like it almost felt like I was so sucked into it that I didn't even know that I was playing for 6 hours. You know what I mean? And I haven't felt that since I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 playing on my PS1. You know, like I literally, if you're taking graphics and price and the stuff that you can do with it, I mean, Minecraft's literally endless. I feel like the map
Yeah.
is generated forever, I think, and I don't know, just Minecraft is up there. I feel like that is a game that, as executed, crafting and opening your imagination and all this other stuff that gamers like, I feel like Minecraft deserves to be in my top 5, and that's why I put it there. But
And they've updated it like consistently.
right,
Like
right.
they refresh it, they add new things. Like it is really
Well-
fun. I feel like, and that's like the perfect casual gamer game.
Mhm.
Like I'll go hard and play Call of Duty, but then like my wife and I will sit and play Minecraft, and it's perfect because we have a house built, and I can build a farm, and she's got like 12 cats in our
Right.
house.
And life's good. You know what I mean? Like,
and then and life is good, and I'll build a beacon so she can go find cats and find her way home.
yeah,
and,
like you can do what you want. Like that's the beauty of it.
yeah, like
That's the
she'll
beauty
be
of
like,
it.
"What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm down at Bedrock looking for diamonds," and she's like, "I found another kid."
Right, like that's literally it. Like that's the beauty of Minecraft. And also
Yeah.
they let people mod Minecraft. For one, they give you the scripts, they give you all this stuff, which is nice. Like there's not a lot of games that do that. And then there's also another side of it that I found out probably a year ago now, is that like they're implementing like teaching kids like different colors with it, and like implementing like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying putting it in schools, but like I think you can buy like a Minecraft kids pack or something, and there's like they're literally like making it so that they can build things and like learn different colors, like type stuff out, and like, you know what I mean? Like it's, what game does
Yeah.
that? You know what I'm saying? So there's not a lot out there.
None
So
that I know of.
right.
Yeah, and it's so crazy. Like I don't know if this is like if it's true, but I saw an ad, and it was probably Photoshop, but it was like a lady wanted someone to babysit her kid in Minecraft. Like she's like, I'm just gonna put my kid in front of Minecraft and go to work, and you just have to talk to him and keep him entertained all day. And it was like wireless, like work from home babysitting.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, Minecraft is good. Minecraft, I got into it late too. My brother was super into it, but my brother's like so into it. Like you could be like, oh, how do you make this? And he could tell you like every combination of everything, and I'm not that good at it.
Right.
But I didn't expect that one. I expected COD from you. I did not expect Minecraft.
Yeah.
So it's a good one. Let's go. Let's move on. What do I got? I'm gonna swap the next two. I'm gonna go full on franchise and say Pokemon,
Okay. I mean that one's
because I like to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Okay. I like that.
Oh, we're gonna get copyright struck for that. Son of a gun! I have a Pokemon tattoo. It's gonna be hard to show. Oh, there it is. Pokeball. Yep.
That's dedication.
That was the only tattoo I ever got unplanned.
Wait, how was it
like,
unplanned? You just walked in and you were literally like,
I literally, when I lived at my cousin's house for a while, and one day I came out of the bedroom, and she was like, "Oh, you have the day off?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I have the day off." And I'm like, "Oh, what should we do? We should do something fun." I don't remember. One of us was like, "Let's get tattoos," and we're like, "Okay," and we went, and that's what I got. Every other tattoo I have, it's been planned out and thought about in some way, and then that was the one that I was like, "I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna get it right now,"
nice.
and I did.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. What
Yeah.
what is your favorite Pokemon game, if you had to say?
Third gen Pokemon Ruby, because that was the first one I ever played.
Okay. So it's more of a
So-
nostalgic kind of for you then, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's not the best one. I don't even know if I would say it has like my favorite legendaries, but well, I do like the legendaries, but it's nostalgia. I actually have a really fun story to go with Pokemon Ruby if you want to hear
Yeah,
it.
go ahead.
All right, so when I was a youth in my day, we had a day off school. I don't remember why, but my aunt was going to watch us. So my mom was like, okay, I got to bring me and my two younger siblings to my aunt's house. One of my siblings, I'm assuming my sister, was still in diapers, so she had a diaper bag. And she was like, go put this diaper bag in the car. So I'm like, okay. So I go out the front door, and we lived in this house. Like, it wasn't a massive house, but for some reason it was like on a hill, and there was like a concrete steps leading up to the house. It's actually really nice looking. I'll try and find a picture when I send it to you. But I had to go down those concrete steps, swing open the van door, dude sleeping in the back of the van. Have I ever told you this story?
No.
Have I never said this to you?
What do you mean a dude sleeping
Yeah.
in the back of the van?
I mean what I say. I slid in the backseat of the van with some dude like curled up sleeping in the backseat of the van. So I slammed the door shut, turned around, and went back into the house. And I almost think I was traumatized because I was so calm during the whole situation. And this is, I always make jokes about my mom, who you'll say something to her, and she'll be like, "Well, what do you mean?" And it's something simple, like I can't, an example would be one time I was supposed to have a friend over, and she was like, "Oh, where's your friend?" And I was, or what happened? Oh, we were supposed to go pick up my friend, and me and my stepdad went. He wasn't home. I don't know where he was. But we got home, and Mom's like, "Where's your friend?" And I'm like, "Oh, he wasn't home." And she's like, "What do you mean he wasn't home?" And I'm like, "He wasn't at his house." Like, that's like my mom's catchphrase, like, "What do you mean?" And then like just repeating what you said.
Okay.
So I get inside, and I'm like, "There's a guy sleeping in the van." And my mom's like, "What do you mean there's a guy sleeping in the van?" And I'm like, "There's a guy sleeping in the back of the van."
You say it slower.
I'm trying to like age myself out. So let's see. So I was born 92. My sister's born in 2002. She was still in diapers. So I'm like, oh, hold on. Let's look this up. Pokemon Diamond. No, this couldn't have been when Diamond came out. This would have been a different situation. Hold on. Pokemon Ruby. I'm guessing 2003. 2002. 2003 in America? Yes. So this was like summer 2003. So I was 11. And I was like, "There's a guy sleeping in the van." And she's like, "What do you mean there's a guy sleeping in the van?" I'm like, there's a guy sleeping in the van. and like she looks out the window, and he gets out of the van, and he's like, the story ended up being he was canoeing with his friends and got wasted, got separated from his friends, wandered around, and we were like a couple miles from the lake. So, and he found our van, and it was unlocked, and he curled up in the back seat. So he gets out of the van, he's like hung over, and the sun is bright, and my mom is freaking out.
Wow.
So she like locks the door. He's like knocking on our door, and I'm assuming to try and like figure out where he was. And my mom's like waving a broom at him, like, "Get out of here, get out of here."
Freaky.
And she's like on the phone. And my mom worked at the police station at the time. So as soon as she called 911 and the cops heard, like cops like swarmed our yard.
Oh my God.
They were like looking under the van for bombs and stuff. Like, he took off running, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever."
Oh my God.
And the cops were like asking me for a description of him, and I was like so excited. And I was like, I was the cop. I remember the cop going, "Wow, you're very descriptive." And I was like, "He was approximately 6 foot tall. He was wearing cargo shorts. They were tan. All of the pockets were buttoned. He had bug bites all over his leg. He had no shirt on." Like, because like this was like the biggest moment of my life. Right now, is the cops are questioning me about a guy. You know what I mean? I was so excited. And they were like the cops were like looking in the car for bombs, and I was like crawling under the car, like, "I'll help you look."
Oh my God, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, so they found him. I think the cops ended up giving him a ride home. I don't really know what happened.
How old were you?
11.
Okay,
I had to have been around 11. So 11, yeah. So this ties into this whole thing, because for like multiple weeks after that, I couldn't find my Game Boy. For weeks, and I was convinced that guy stole it, because I remember the day before that happened, I played it in the van. We went somewhere, I played it in the van, and I'm like, "This guy stole my Game Boy. He had it in his pocket. The cops took him home. That guy has my Game Boy." And I was like, "Mom, you have to call the police, find out who this guy is. He has my Game Boy." And the game in the Game Boy was actually the next game on my list. But finally, after my mom helped me look, we looked everywhere, and finally she was like, "We can't find it." Like, she was so confident, like it had to have been hidden in the house. She didn't believe he took it.
Wow.
And so she finally was like, "Okay, we'll get you a new Game Boy." So she got me a new Game Boy, and she let me buy a game with a new Game Boy. I bought Pokemon Ruby. That's because that's how I got my first Pokemon game.
All right.
because I liked the show, and she was buying me a new Game Boy, and I'm like, Pokemon, that's the one. My mom's like, do you even know how to play Pokemon? Because it's like the mom's go-to, and I'm like, yeah, I know how to play Pokemon. I'd never played it before.
God,
And I
Mom,
was
of
like,
course
yes.
I do. Yeah.
Like, what kind of idiot doesn't know how to play Pokemon?
God.
And then a week later, I found my Game Boy.
So wait, where was the Game Boy at?
I don't remember where, but it was in such a weird spot. I guarantee you, my little 11-year-old mind was like, I'll hide it here. No one will find it. I'll remember where it's at. And I promptly forgot where it was at, and I never found it until the next time I wanted to hide something. It was like, that would be a good spot.
Oh my
So
God.
I found it, and my mom was mad for a minute, but then I just gave my Game Boy to my brother, so she was like, okay, I guess it's okay.
You know, I can't relate to that story because I just want to tell this quick story because people do crazy stuff when they're drunk or whatever the case may be. Like, how did that guy end up in the van for one? Like, I'm guessing it was unlocked. Like, whatever. Like, I'm kind of shocked. You know,
which is why I always lock my cars no matter where I'm at.
Like literally,
we'll be at my mother-in-law's, and I can see my car from the dining room table locked.
Right.
Because of that situation. My mom still to this day leaves her cars unlocked in her driveway, and it infuriates me.
Cap said then he found it. Ha ha. That's funny.
I don't even know to this day. I feel like my mom probably thinks I still hit it to get but I swear I didn't. I 100% was like, he took it.
Wow.
And I was so upset when I found it. I felt so guilty.
Right. Damn, that's the only reason why I'm telling this story is because I can kind of not relate because I wasn't 11. I was probably 15 at the time, and I was at my cousin's house in Kalamazoo. I'm gonna make it quick because it's not as yours is crazy. Mine isn't as crazy.
Yeah.
It's just a drunk person story like related. But so we're sitting there at the dining room table, and the door from the garage is right next to us. And I think it was my brother, my cousin, and me. And then there's another room where my aunt was just sitting. And this lady literally walks in the house and walks down past the kitchen. It's hard to envision, but walks into the house like 3 or 4 feet. Walks into the living room, comes back out, and looks at us. Like almost like a deer in headlights. Like, and we're sitting there like... like we're just sitting there talking, bullshitting or whatever. We're like looking up at her, we're deer in headlights too. Like we're like, hello, like we're like, who are you or whatever? And she's like, so like obliterated drunk that she walked into the wrong house, and she had a party. Basically, like long story short, walked in the house. We tried to ask her her name, couldn't remember her name. Like, where's the party at? Couldn't remember where the party was at. Yada yada yada. My cousin's freaking on his laptop, like looking up names. Like he's like on the hunt, like detective. Like we're trying to figure it out, you know. And I go up and upstairs and grab my uncle, and he's like, you know, sleeping, because it's a weird feeling. You're like shocked. So I can only imagine like you being 11 years old seeing that, because I was 16 and I'm like, what the fuck? Like it's almost like a stomach drop. Like this doesn't happen every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then basically it was the next road over, because it's kind of set up to where every house is in a line, you know, around Grand Rapids or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the next road over, and we took her down there, and the guys at the party were 5 sheets under the wind, you know, and they thought that we kidnapped her and stuff. It was a weird. We just ran back. We're just like, whatever, you know, like it was weird. But I've never heard anybody say a story like you have, and that's the only story that I have to relate to it. But like people do weird stuff when they're drunk, dude. 100%.
We had a dude walk into our apartment.
Really?
Like the door to my apartment. This brown right here is literally the front door to my apartment. And Molly and I were watching a movie one time, and like literally the door opened. The guy popped his head in, and I was like,
shocked.
And I literally like stared at him, and he's like, I'm looking for somebody, and I'm like, you got the wrong apartment. Get the fuck out. And he literally like closed the door, and I was like mad. Like I like got up, and I'm like looking out the door, and I'm like looking out the window. I'm like, where'd he go?
Right.
Like I was like mad.
Wait, was it unlocked?
My door?
Yeah.
I guess. I usually lock it. It's locked right now. I guess I must have just forgot that one time.
Weird. Isn't that weird timing sometimes?
Yeah, like
Weird.
the one time I leave it unlocked and that happens.
Yeah.
My theory is he was looking for someone to rob and was checking for unlocked doors, and ours was unlocked, but we happened to be sitting there.
Okay.
So,
Who's
but yeah, that's how I got Pokemon.
okay? Yeah, I was gonna say what were we talking about? Like, what made this happen?
Yeah,
So okay, well that is a good story. I don't think I can top that. By the way, I think
that's okay.
that's fine. You rightfully deserve that 100%. My next game on the list. My list is now that I'm looking at my list is very generic. Like, I don't know. I don't have any stories.
Phenom's list directly mirrors the top 5 best-selling games of all time.
Literally, don't check my browser history. Like, don't do nothing. I'm just kidding. But my next one is Grand Theft Auto, and I'm not talking GTA 5. I'm talking as a whole franchise. I think, as far as like the aspect of the world the way it is now, GTA is like one of those games that gets a lot of hate when it comes out. A lot of news reports coming out, especially it comes out. Like newscasters and stuff, they're like the violent video game that, their kids are playing, and there's a lot of baggage, like a lot of baggage with Grand Theft Auto when it comes out, which that's not why I like it. The reason why I like it is like there's no other game like it besides like Saints Row is fine and stuff, but like as far as like almost instant fun and doing what you want and having like this realistic, semi-realistic, I want to say, but like having this like good story modes, in my opinion, I feel like the map is relatively big for what console it comes out on. I feel like Rockstar as a developing team is pretty I feel like they listen to their fans, but I feel like they try to stop modders. They try to have free DLC. Like I feel like they cater to their fans. Right. So I feel like yeah,
cars cost like $10 million.
That is true. Like the prices are a little wonky, but like if you were to grind it out or buy a shark card if you wanted to, the game has been out forever, but I just feel like that's a solid franchise. Like I've always liked Rockstar games, like Midnight Club and Bully was pretty good. Red Dead Redemption's really good. Like I like those games too, but Grand Theft Auto to me is like very it's like perfect. It's a good longevity game, instant fun. You can get on your friends and just start dying laughing. The heists are cool. The missions are relatively in depth, I feel like they could update them a little bit, but like for as long as GTA 5 in particular has been out, I feel like it's not that bad.
Yeah, I think, and this isn't a complaint, but GTA has gone the way of Fast and Furious, where it started off as like a simple, like you drive around and shoot at people, and now it's like you can go to space.
Right. Yeah, like a lot of that futuristic stuff I'm not really a fan of. Kind of a side note here, my list was going to consist of Saints Row, because I feel like they could have... I don't know if you're familiar with Saints Row, but it's basically like the arcade of Grand Theft Auto, in my opinion. But they started going off. Yeah. Started going off with like futuristic cars and stuff. And GTA is not really. They have a couple things, but it's not. I feel like it's limited for them. But like Saints Row could have executed, in my opinion, so much better if they would have stuck to 1 and 2, and kind of go along with the times and kind of update everything. And like they could have had a more solid game. But like when Saints Row 4 came out, or even 3, like you could like super jump and all that stuff, which I'm not really a fan of, but that's kind of why I like GTA. I can get on and play poker. You know what I mean? Like I can go, I can have custom, golf. You can do a little bit of tennis. You can do a heist with your buddies. Like it's fun. You can hop on, have a good time. They're trying to fix the load screens. I've noticed it, but not crazy. But and also I heard they're gonna do a remaster of 5, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm here for it. Is what I'm saying. So that's why I have it on my list.
I didn't play GTA until GTA 5, and that's because one of my dad's coworkers told him not to buy it for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know how old I was when he told me the story, but when I got my first PS4, or not PS4, PS2, which I probably got Legend of Dragoon with that. He got me a PS2 for Christmas with a stack of games, and he told me later that he was gonna get me Grand Theft Auto, but he was at work, and my dad knew nothing about video games, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get my son Grand Theft Auto," and this guy that he worked with was like, "No, you're not," and literally like after work drove him to Walmart back when you could like play games at Walmart, and like had my dad play it, and like he ran around and shot cops and shot up some hookers, and my dad, who is like in his 50s and is a red-blooded, bleeds red, white, and blue firefighter and supports the police no matter what. Like, that's his personality, and that's fine. Like, he was like, my son will never play this game.
Yeah. Very, very controversial. I was playing GTA 3, I think, one time, and my dad walked in, and my dad worked 11 hours a day, so he was never home, but he seen me playing that, and he wasn't too happy. Let's just say that. Yeah. You know, he shut it off right away, you know, because it's a very, dude, if you're talking about controversial, like, video games, dude, it's a very controversial, like, I mean, they get a lot of heat and a lot of petitions, and, like, I swear, like, GTA might not be what it is. Like, it could have easily gotten taken off of market. I feel. I mean, it's just very, you know.
Yeah, I think by now they've made this legacy for themselves that they're kind of untouchable, because I feel like back when games first started coming out, adults didn't really know anything about them, and it was just like what the media told them because they were for kids. But now those kids have become adults, so the world's a little more knowledgeable about them. I think if GTA would have fizzled in that first game, like, we would not, like, obviously it would have fizzled, we wouldn't have had it, but I think now it's safer because now, like, we're to the point where, like, it's such a big franchise, it's not going to die.
Right.
I'm curious on if they'll do a GTA 6 or if they're just going to go straight for a next gen update for the 5.
That's what I'm hearing, and I'm down. I just hope that I mean, where can they go? You know what I mean? Like, they could do a lot of stuff.
Exactly what I'm
they could
saying.
do a lot of stuff, in my opinion. I feel like they could extend the map, maybe, or they can.
Make it a little more area. But that's the thing, like, you can make a GTA 6, but like, what do you do for GTA 6 online that you wouldn't do to 5 to make it? Like, what can you do to make people transfer over? Because people have so much time invested in their character and cars and stuff. Like, what can you do that's so worthwhile to bring them over?
The only, and I agree. Like, the only thing I can kind of think of is, like, bring back what they had in San Andreas is, like, physical. Like, if you went to the gym, you could build some muscle. If you ate too much fast food, you would get fat, basically. Like, they could bring back that. That's a nice touch. Or they can, I mean, they do a pretty relatively good job of doing, and I play on PC, and there's a lot of modders, so I kind of get the struggle with that, but I feel like if they were to bring back a map of GTA 5, San Andreas, Vice City, and which would be massive. I'm not saying that would be easy, but if they did that and linked them together with bridges, because there's mods like that out now where people did that. But honestly, I feel like people would buy it, but the question is like, is it gonna make them stay on? I mean, I feel like people would be connected, but where do you go, like, and not mess it up is what I'm saying, I guess.
Right.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you top GTA 5 to the point where it's worth? Because if you make it and it's just like, yeah, it's pretty good, like, people aren't gonna make the switch.
Right.
Like, you'd have to make it true. That's like why, like, the Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna have such a big problem, because Skyrim is such this huge force now, and people know every nook and cranny of that game. Like, you have to come out with literally like a masterpiece for people to go, because no matter what they do, people are always going, Skyrim was better.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you do to really convert the community from Skyrim to this new game?
And I can't say I'm a fan of Skyrim and stuff. I respect it. I can't say that I'm die hard or anything because I haven't played it, but I played it, but I can't say. But they set the bar so high, you know what I mean? Especially with, like, the mods and stuff that they have on PC. I mean, you can make that game look gorgeous, and it came out I don't even know how long ago. Like, it was a long time ago, because I remember watching Cat play it, and I mean, I was like a freshman, which was like 2010 at least, and it came out way before that. So
2011.
Oh, okay. Well, my time's off a little bit, but I'm just saying, like, it's been out for a while, and, like, they set the bar really high. And also, I think with pushing that game off, they have the ability to make it happen because of the next gen and all that. They definitely have the potential. You're definitely going to get buyers and stuff. It's just, you're setting the bar high, dude. They got a lot of work to do, you know? But
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I'll be curious to see on if because there's rumors now that Bethesda got bought out by Microsoft, that it would be a Xbox exclusive, which I don't know. I've heard rumors that it will be, and I've heard rumors that it won't be. I feel like that'd be a bad decision, just because, like I said, Skyrim is such a force that like, and now you're gonna cut out. Like, I don't know what the sales are Xbox compared to PlayStation, but if it's 50-50, you know what I mean? If they both sold an even amount, like you've just lost half your potential player base.
Mm-hmm.
So this game that you're already trying to top, one of the biggest games of all time, and now you're going to lose half the people that might support you.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's true, but I keep hearing rumors, but I don't think that's really going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. I mean,
yeah. My next game. Okay, Golden Sun. I love Golden Sun. That game was on the Game Boy. That was the game in the Game Boy when it got stolen.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
So, Golden Sun was like, it was like almost like an 8-bit kind of like early Final Fantasy looking game. It was like a turn-based thing because I'm really into like turn-based RPGs. But what I really liked about it is like you had like these abilities that you could use in combat, like any RPG, but you could use them in the real world, which I feel like now is more common, but at the time wasn't really. Like if there was a puddle of water, like you could freeze that and then walk over it. So like there'd be like dungeons, like these towers that you had to climb up, and there'd be like, okay, I can't get over this leap because I can't jump that far. But then below it there's a puddle, so you have to like backtrack and like find the room that leads you to this puddle, freeze it so you can backtrack over. And like you could like do puddles, like if there was a little bush you could turn into a vine to climb up the wall. You can move things back and forth. Like it was super cool.
Wow.
It was really fun. And I feel like something I really liked about it too is it got released in 2 games, Golden Sun 1 and Golden Sun 2. There's a third one later for the DS, but 1 and 2 took place like directly after 1. And this isn't true, but I heard a rumor that it was originally 1 game, but it was so big they turned it into 2 because the Game Boy was a small cartridge. But the second game, you followed through the story. So in the first game, you were a specific 4 group party chasing after these people, and then in game 2, your party was like the people you were chasing. So you get like a full both sides of the story. And then the ending is really crazy. I'm not going to spoil it.
Do you think it's a...
I mean, I say I'm not going to spoil it. The game's like 20 years old.
Yeah, but do you think it was ahead of its time? Because it sounds like it kind of was. Or was it just
I think
attractive? Like, would you think it was like very like...
See, it's hard to say because if Golden Sun came out right now as it was, I still think it would do well. If you brought it out now, because like Octopath Traveler has like, they call it HD 2D, where it's like a 2D field with like 8-bit graphics, but they really ramp it up like with the Unreal Engine. So like there's smoke going across the screen, like the water and the lights all look amazing. Like, so like I feel like if they re-released it like that, I think it would do really well. I think people love it. Especially, that's one of those games too. Like literally all these games, like Golden Sun and Legend of Dragoon, I want like a full-on remake. But honestly, if they just release Legends on like the PS5, like no updates, nothing, just put it on the PlayStation Store, I'd buy it and replay it.
Yeah.
That's something I don't like that game companies do. When I had a PS3, it was on the PlayStation Store, and I bought it and had it on the PS3, so it's still on my PlayStation account, but you can't play it on the PS5, and I don't like that.
That's
like,
weird.
The backwards compatibility with Sony is really off.
Yeah.
Microsoft, I feel like, does better.
They do, but there's a lot of stuff that Microsoft does wrong too, which is another conversation, but... I mean, that is kind of crappy, though, because I feel like a lot of those older games, like, if they brought them back, and even, like you were saying, just regular, like, copy and paste, like, it's fine. Like, people would buy them. Like, just do it. You know, it's already there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the
know?
petition to have that game remade is, like, 90,000, 100,000 signatures, something like that.
Right.
So you release it for $10, even if only half the people buy it, that's 50,000 people buying it at $10. I'm bad at math. What is that? Times 10. That's $5 million.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm always hoping. Every time Sony releases any type of like PlayStation update, I'm always like hoping that I'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do, I will. That would be amazing. That would make my dreams like come true if they remade that game.
Yeah. My next game, and it's a sports game, so yeah. It's.
I'll come back in 5 minutes.
Your bathroom break, chat. Bathroom break. So it's NBA 2K, and the reason why is because, for one, I've always been a basketball fan. For two, you look at developers and you look at EA Sports, massive. They do a lot of stuff. You look at
EA, get in the game.
Yeah, literally. And 2K always appealed to me because, for one, it's basketball. for 2, they've like every year has, I feel like it's kind of cut off now, but every year
Mhm.
they've updated the game. And I know when you've seen the PS5, you've seen the trailer for 2K, it looked good. Like,
Good.
and they do that. And now with EA, I'm not trying to be biased here, but with EA, like, I don't think graphics is everything, but I think improvement is a lot. So with EA, like, first of all, their basketball franchise, I feel like has died. I mean, it's literally 2021 and haven't had a basketball game in a couple years. It's not because of licensing. They have the rights to the NBA and all the uniforms and stuff, but EA didn't execute it as much as 2K. And that's why I stuck with 2K. But ever since I was a kid, I played 2K. Stuck with it. The movement felt better to me. Like, there's just games, like, it's almost like, this isn't really comparing them, but it's almost like COD to Battlefield. Like, Battlefield, people think it's wonky. They think COD's better. Like, I'm not saying Battlefield's bad again, but I'm just saying with EA, didn't really like the feel of it. 2K, it's like they execute and they're literally improving the game. I feel like they try to every year. So I got to give that, especially for a sports franchise, the game comes out every single year and they just put a number on the cover. That's it. The new year, that's it. So for them to execute and like update it, and obviously memories come with it, like buzzer beaters and all that stuff. Like, sports games are a very like, they drop in value quick because they come out every year. But I feel like with 2K, I got to put it in here because of just how much time I put into it. And I feel like they kind of at least care a little bit about the community.
I have a question.
What?
I was raising my hand. I have a question. Can you define for me a buzzer beater?
Okay. A buzzer beater is typically when a team that has the ball. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if you have the ball or not, but there's like 5 seconds left on the clock, and then once the 5 seconds is gone, the above the hoop, it'll literally be like a buzzer beater. But you gotta, like, typically you'll shoot a shot and get it in before the buzzer goes off, if that makes sense. Because if the buzzer goes off and the ball is in your hand, then game over, basically. Fourth quarter, like, no time left in the game, 5 seconds. You got to hit the shot or miss it or whatever. But you got to hit the shot before the buzzer goes off, before the time ends. It's like Rocket League. Like, you got 5 seconds left. Well, you got to better make that sucker in the goal, you know what I mean? Or else you're screwed. So
I definitely did not think that's what a buzzer beater was.
what do you think a buzzer beater was?
Bumblebee masturbating.
Okay. Buzzer beater. Okay. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, that could be what it is.
A little embarrassed. Little embarrassed.
A little bit.
A little bit. All right. Oh, we only got one game left. Kingdom Hearts.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. That game, like, I got that on the PS2. My dad got it for me. That game was so big for me because that's what really got me into like Golden Sun and Legends of Dragoon got me into like turn-based combat, which is my favorite. But Kingdom Hearts is like really being into like a story. You know what I mean? Because like I was playing like Mario, which doesn't really have a story, or Pokemon, which has a story, but like you're really playing it to catch and battle Pokemon. Like you're not really playing it for the story. That's the game that got me really into like serious like stories in a game. And like it's weird now because here we are years later. The story is so weird and convoluted. Like it's really hard to understand the story. Like there's a video that's like 45 minutes long and it's like explaining the entire story of the entire series, and like it's bad. Like they went really off the rails with it. So there's no way I could sit and explain it to you in the time we have. But I don't know. I just thought that was really cool because I was young. I knew Disney because it's Final Fantasy mixed with Disney basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I was starting to get into like the Final Fantasy style of games. So to see them meld together was really cool for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think something that series has done really well is like gameplay. Like the gameplay between 3 and 1 is so much. It's such an improvement. And like the story's convoluted. It's really crazy. It's probably a series that's really hard for a newcomer to really get into because there's like 10 games now.
Yeah.
And like and they came out in such a weird order. So there's Kingdom Hearts, first game, and then there was Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories for the Game Boy Advance, which was the next one, and it came right after Kingdom Hearts 1. And then there's Kingdom Hearts like 358 Days, which takes place like parallel to the last half of Chain of Memories, and that came out next. And then there's Kingdom Hearts 2, which again is next. But then there was Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which was a prequel. And then there was Kingdom Hearts like X, which was like a mobile app, which was like a prequel to the prequel. So that came out even earlier. And then there was Kingdom Hearts back like 2.8, which was like kind of like more DLC-ish, but it came out separately, which it was basically an expansion of Birth by Sleep, which was like a sequel to Birth by Sleep. So it was like the timeline was like game, but then game, and then Kingdom Hearts 3 is game. Like they came out in such a weird order.
That is weird. Yeah, that is weird.
So it's always a thing like, do you want to play them in release order or chronological order? I say release order. But like,
well, it's like Star Wars
know,
almost. Like watch it. Oh no! You don't want it in chronological. You would rather play it. What's the reason behind playing it in release?
Because I feel like because when like they came out with like Birth by Sleep and like Union Cross, like I feel like they kind of assume you know the lore at this point, so they throw a lot at you. Where then in Kingdom Hearts 1, you're going to take a big step back because Kingdom Hearts 1 is connected to the overall plot, but it doesn't explain anything. Kingdom Hearts 1 was really its own isolated story. And then as the games then they went along. Like Birth by Sleep, like the prequel, is assuming you played Kingdom Hearts 1. It's a backstory, but also explaining future events. And like Kingdom Hearts 3 is like this big overarching finale, because Kingdom Hearts 3 is supposed to be the end of this saga, but it left it open-ended, so there will be more games, I'm assuming. But like this arc of the tale is over. So it'd be like I don't it would be similar to Star Wars. Like, you have 4, 5, and 6 that are like isolated. There's only one Jedi, you don't really know much. But then you go back to 1 and you kind of like all of a sudden there's like a ton of Jedi, and like it doesn't really explain Jedi. Like you're kind of supposed to know what they are at this point. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It kind of very much is the same thing as Star Wars, where it had a middle game, then prequels, then later games.
Right.
So
I gotta give them credit though, because I hear about that a lot. Never got into it, but I gotta give them credit because there's a lot of games like keeping that, like that goes back into that franchise of keeping it going. Like crazy to think about, dude. There's only like, I mean, I can't sit here and list all of them, but like there's not a lot of franchises that last that long. It's very rare that you're gonna see that. So I gotta give them credit where credit's due.
Yeah, and they've really created this mythology that's really cool, and they kind of stand on their own feet now. Like Final Fantasy 1 and 2 and the prequels had like Disney and Final Fantasy characters. I think I said Final Fantasy. I meant Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and the prequels had Final Fantasy characters. The third one didn't. There was no Final Fantasy characters. It was just Disney and like the original characters from the series. So they're kind of to the point where they can stand up on their own now. But
okay,
I will say I don't have a lot of complaints about it. Like, it's really convoluted. Like, the story is really hard to understand. It's really bad. I get it, but I get it, but I don't think I get it in a way that I could explain it. I could explain it, but it's like, it's hard.
Right.
Like, there's that half-hour YouTube video. I would literally have to like sit out every game in front of me and like point at games while explaining it, or I would get lost.
You should do a video about it.
I would, but I think there's already like a ton of videos about it. I don't think anyone's really calling for it anymore. But though my biggest complaint about like 3 is like pacing. Like I feel like if the game is, I don't even know how many hours it took me to complete it, but like say the game is like 35 hours, it's really slow, and then like the last 5 hours really crams it to you, like really puts everything in place, which is fine. Like the last 5 hours are really good, but like the final boss was like a really good final boss fight, and it was a really good closure. It didn't end the way I wanted it to, but I'm not upset about it, because it ended in a way that this arc is kind of over. Like the big bad guy is gone, they can really open it up, but they also like there was like a big mind-blowing reveal, so it was crazy. You want me to spoil it for you? I'll just spoil it for you.
Spoiler alert, go ahead.
So basically in the prequel, that mobile app, there was like this master, like the king of everything, like they call him the master of masters, and he had like 6 apprentices. I think it was 6. And he gave all of them like a different task, like separately. Like he went to all of them, like, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And then he gave to one apprentice, he's like, you're just going to watch. Like, you're not gonna do anything. You're just gonna watch and see what happens. And like, he gave him his weapon, which had like an eye in it, and so the eye would like pass the information to the master, and he's like, you just watch, just see what happens. And like, that keyblade gets passed down, and you never see that apprentice's face. And then in like the final like post-credit cutscene, you find out who that apprentice was that was supposed to just watch. And like, it like blows the whole thing open. Because like, this entire series has been you fighting basically this one enemy, this one guy that's like the big bad guy of the series. And then like, that little post-credit scene, you literally find out that, because you know this character, like, he's a main character, he's a bad guy, but he's not like the main bad guy, but he's like, he works with the bad guy, like, he's definitely one of the bad guys, but I wouldn't say he's a secondary character. He's a main character. Like, if this is the bad guy, like, he's down here, he's an important character, but you don't know who he is because he goes by a different name. And then in that post-credit scene, you find out that this like secondary bad guy, who's like works for the main bad guy, manipulated the whole thing.
Damn.
Like, the whole thing. Like, you find out, and it's like, you find out like literally all the other apprentices show up and are like, who are you? And like, it pans into like that guy, and he's like, it's me, your old pal, and like says his true name, and you're like,
Kind of, it's not like Star Wars. I'm not trying to bring that back up, but it's kind of like Palpatine. Like, spoiler alert again, but it's kind of like Palpatine kind of manipulating like certain aspects of
like
the
everything.
basically, yeah. So that's kind of weird. That's good. I mean, it's cool. It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it'd be similar. The only difference is like, I feel like in the first movie you can tell who Palpatine is, because like his voice is the same. It would be like if when in Revenge of the Sith, when Mace Windu finds out who Palpatine is if you as a watcher also found out only in that moment. It would be pretty similar to that.
Okay.
Because like, you find out, because he literally, like, the master gave this apprentice, he gave him a black box, told him not to open it ever, and it was like, just watch, just see what happens. And then like, post-credit scene, you see them all, like, all the apprentices show up, and you see him, and he's like, what's up, guys, like, I've been waiting for you. And he's there with the black box, and you're just like,
Yeah, you're like,
oh my.
yeah.
So like, literally this entire series, which that game came out in like 2002, 2003, something like that. So this series that's 20 years long is literally nothing but this one guy manipulating people. And now you're like, holy crap. So now like, that arc has ended. It can go into a new arc. Who knows where they're going to go.
Right.
But I don't know. That's a series that I'll always love. Even if they release a game that's just trash, I'll still play it because I love that series.
Interesting.
So
yeah, that's definitely I gotta respect it 100%. Well, now
whenever I get a stream schedule going, I have all of the games, literally all of the games on my PlayStation.
Yeah.
I want to stream through all
I would
of them.
just do it. Like,
I should.
you know, post them to YouTube or whatever. Stratosphere Gaming.
My only my only complaint is that like, they release these bundles that are like the 1.5 like remix, which is like the first 3 games together. But I think one of the games they only release the cutscenes. Like, it's like a movie of cutscenes. Like, you can't actually play it.
Okay.
So that's kind of lame. But like, the big like 1, 2, 3 and the prequel are all like available to play. So those are good. I kind of want to go through and platinum all of them, but I don't know if I will.
Yeah, that'd be good though if you did. I'd definitely watch some of it for sure. Because they're long, right?
Thank you.
They're relatively long, I would assume.
Yeah, I wouldn't make separate videos. I would just stream it and let the stream stay up on YouTube.
Right. Well, to try to top that, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not gonna be able to top it.
Can I guess? Can I guess what it is?
My last game. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, can I guess it? Okay, hold on. So you got COD, Minecraft, GTA, NBA 2K, and it's not Saints Row.
No. I was gonna put it on there. Should have.
Hold on. Give me a hint.
It's a shooter.
Is it Halo?
Yeah. Okay. You know me all too well, Deeds.
Oh man, I guessed it. They're gonna think that was scripted.
Yeah, no, no. Okay, so like Halo, obviously Xbox. So you probably did you even play Halo? You're a PS guy. Did you play Halo at all?
I have never played through a campaign, but I used to have friends that had it, and if I went over to their house, I would like play kind of with them.
Right. Okay.
I know that Master Chief is his name.
Yes.
I know that he is the character.
Yes.
And he has
Yes.
guns. I know that the Needler is awesome.
Yeah, that thing is OP. I'm just kidding.
I read one of the books.
Oh, did you?
I did, and I watched the movie because there was a movie.
There was a movie. There was like some Netflix thing too.
Yeah, so I know there was other Spartans other than Master Chief.
Right. And I don't know. Okay, so like my knowledge of it, this is more like memories. If you're talking, and let's go back to this. Okay, in particular, Halo 3, because I feel like Halo 3 boosted from Halo 2. Halo 2 was a classic. Halo 1's a classic. They've literally they did remaster them. But as far as like a launch title for Xbox, I feel, especially early 2000s, Xbox needed that. They needed that franchise, or else Xbox is like nothing in my opinion. You know, if you were to stack it up against PlayStation, you know what I'm saying?
Well, because the PlayStation came out and was competitor for Nintendo, and the PS1 like went nuts. But the Xbox came out around the time of the PlayStation 2, so they had to drag them away from the Nintendo consoles and the PlayStation console. So I think you're right. I think that they needed that, and I think without Halo or something of that, without that level of console or exclusive game, I don't think they would have made it as far as they did.
And I always compared Halo, and it's not necessarily the same game, but I've always said Halo's kind of like the Killzone of PlayStation. And I'm not familiar with Killzone. I had a PS4 at one point, and I played Killzone 3, if that makes sense.
Is it the one that like launched with it?
I think so, yeah.
It's like Killzone something, because when I got a PS4, I got a bundle that came with that.
Right. But I feel like Killzone kind of was the forefront of PlayStation at the time, and I feel like Halo was the forefront of Xbox at the time, Xbox 360. Not to get it confused, when I played on my PS4, I had Killzone, but I'm talking before, because there was Killzones before the PS4. There had to have been. There was 1 and 2, if I'm remembering correctly.
This one says it was the 6th game in the series.
Oh, really? So they've had a couple then before I played it.
Yeah, that was the only one I ever played, and I don't even think I finished it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So with Halo, it turned into MLG. Like I got into MLG. I was never in MLG, but I started watching MLG before MLG was cool. But I remember Halo, you would have like, I'd learn all these teams, and I would learn all these people that were into MLG, and that was before MLG got big, I feel like, because now there's literally, you know, competitions, there's freaking TV shows, like now it's massive, but back then it was literally like so small that there was only a certain amount of teams for that particular game. I'm sure there was other games that MLG catered to, but Halo for me, like, as far as a shooter, I got into Halo before COD. Halo brought me to COD just because COD was more appealing to me at the time, and I just stuck with it. And there was a point in time in my life where I'm like, either Halo or Call of Duty. And I went with Call of Duty, obviously, but Halo, I feel as a campaign aspect and a multiplayer aspect, keep in mind this is 07, so this is Halo 3. It was just massive. It was like one of those games, like it was almost like everybody was doing it. If you had an Xbox, you got Halo, you know what I mean? And so,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it was just this awesome, like, I mean, people were making freaking Master Chief fucking outfits, you know, like they were freaking walking around, you know, midnight release, like everyone's in their Halo gear. Like it was a massive thing. GameStop loved it. Like Xbox pushed it so much, like all this stuff. And like Halo was very fun. It was very skilled. Like you had to be good at it. Like you didn't have to be good at it, but people went hard. Like it was a rank, like the ranking system was amazing, because like now it's all you get you get into a COD game, like you get a level, but Halo was like almost like league play. Like if you're level 5, you're gonna get into a group with level 5s. You know what I mean? Like you're a brigadier general, you're gonna get into a group of brigadier. Like it was a good skill based game, and not like COD now where it goes off of KD. It went off of rank. So if you were trash and you boosted for a general rank in Halo 3 and you weren't that good and you weren't living up to that rank, like you're going to get smashed. That's part of the reason what I have
Mhm.
with COD is like, thanks for the skill base, but like, I can have a guy that freaking goes 0 and 10 games in a row, and he's gonna smash. He's gonna smash in a crappy lobby. Like that's not skill based to me. Like skill based to me is the ranking system that Halo 3 had. And I don't think they had it right away, but they also had social and ranked. That was fun, and
Yeah.
I feel like COD should bring that back. But hey,
Well, that's the thing is like if you want to do league play, go
go
for
for
it. But
it.
like
Yeah,
the fact that like I feel like they marketed league play to like fix these problems that we're
they
having,
didn't.
and like it just didn't.
So, but Halo was definitely my that's a nostalgic staying up all night like that type of game, like have people over, couple 2 liters, you got your hot pockets, like that's what that
Ooh,
was.
got some Cino's pizza rolls.
Exactly, like that's the game, like double XP weekend, like that was they brought back that, and it was '07. Like what the hell's a double XP weekend? You know what I mean? Like no one knew what that was, but once you got into a game and you ranked up a couple times, like you're hooked. So that's
Yeah.
that's got to be in my top 5 for sure. So
When's the last time you went to a midnight release of a game? Because now that I do like digital downloads, I don't really.
I think ironically enough, it was either Modern Warfare or Black Ops 3. I can't remember which one.
Mine was Black Ops 3.
Okay.
No, it was Advanced Warfare.
COD midnight releases are kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're okay. I think it depends on, because I would always go to GameStop. I think it depends on the GameStop that you go to. Because I feel like, well, back in the day, they used to have those stand. I don't know, maybe it's still the same thing, but they used to have those stands where you could play the game while you're waiting in line. But I don't think they do that anymore.
Well, my complaint is like our local GameStops. I feel like only really did it for like COD.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know, like if you go to like big cities, like they did midnight releases for like Pokemon, and like I think that would be cool. And our
Right.
GameStops didn't. Like I remember when Black and White 2 came out, I wanted to go to that midnight release, and just none of the 3 GameStops within driving distance did it. So I was like,
Right.
I had to wait till the next morning.
Right. Yeah. But
Now I can just stay up and play it. You know what I know my complaint about digital downloads though is it doesn't come out at midnight.
yeah.
It's always like 12:20.
Right.
So it's like 12:20 it unlocks. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, like come on, just freaking put this thing. Another thing too is I don't understand is that some digital downloads run out. They run out of codes or something. I'm like, why? Like how? Like what?
Oh, I'm really into pre-ordering now and preloading, so I don't have to worry about
Yeah,
it.
see,
I just
yeah.
pre-order it, downloads.
If I get into a game late and I can't remember what game it was, but if I get into a game late and I didn't pre-order it, and it's probably like the next day, like I go to buy, it's happened a couple times. I go to buy it, not enough codes to hand out. I'm like, what?
I wonder if like it's server issues.
Maybe it is. Maybe I just need to be on my game a little more in that wait.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, that was fun. We got through our top 5.
That was fun.
I didn't think it was gonna. I didn't think it was gonna take the whole podcast to do that.
I thought it would, but I like our list. I thought we had a strong list.
Oh, we had good list. I saved your list with my list just in case I ever want to look back on it. In case I ever want to reflect.
I feel like you were saying you have older games. I have kind of newer. Like I feel like as far as like games, I feel like we covered like a good amount of games that were good. Like
Yeah.
oddly enough,
I agree.
So that's good. But yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
It was good. This was fun. For everyone watching, after we're done here, I will get it up on Spotify. That's the thumbnail.
Yeah, thumbnail.
Hold on. Do that again. Do it again. I'm gonna screenshot that. That's gonna be that's gonna be my thumbnail for this.
All right.
But,
That's perfect.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to us ramble. Thanks for joining me for. It was educational. I learned what a buzz beater was.
A buzzer beater.
Buzzer beater.
Buzz beater. Well, Strat.
It's cool, man.
Thanks for.
It's cool, man. Maybe I should start playing MLB if that's what kind of stuff's in there.
I mean, it's fine, but it's just one of those things. I'm sure if someone talked about NASCAR, I would have no idea what they're talking about because I don't do NASCAR. You know what I mean?
You want me to teach you NASCAR right now?
You
They drive and then they turn
right.
left, and then they do that again.
Do they go right at all? Oh, okay.
Just left.
Left.
They'd have to turn around and then they'd hit the other cars, which is
Oh.
counterproductive to the goal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it'd be like in football if to get a touchdown, you always had to go left, and then just keep going.
Right.
All right,
Spotify. See us on Spotify, right? Did you say that already?
see it's on Spotify. You can search Controller Dreams. You can search. You know what? Let's just test this really quick before we end it. I almost wonder if you search our names if it'll pop up. Phenom R3. Yep. If you search Phenom R3, it'll pop up. Stratosphere. For me, you only have to type in Stratosphere.
Oh,
But yeah, it'll come up. It'll
awesome.
be there.
Watch us there,
So-
guys, on the way to work or your morning commute to wherever you're heading. So,
Yeah. Nothing wakes you up like Phenom in your cup.
all right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye.